So we bless God for all that has gone before. At this time, we will listen to what God has to say to us. He will be using our First Lady, Deaconess Marcelene James, who God has truly been blessing. She has been a blessing to each and every one of us. We continue to see the hard work that she puts out, and we are truly grateful. And I could speak for Reverend James too. He's grateful. Yeah, he's grateful for his helpmeet. So we continue to bless God for Sister Marcelene as she comes. And Father God, you just continue, just speak. Just speak to her this morning, Lord. Lord, we thank you for using her all the time, and we continue to use her, Lord. Lord, and every time that she stands to speak to your people, we know, Lord, that you will place the words in her mouth that the people need at the time. Lord, because she is here for a time like this. Lord, we see her as Esther. She's here for a time like this. Father God, we ask you to continue to bless her. Continue to guide her. Continue to cover her, Father. Cover her from the crown of her head to the sole of her feet. Lord, you know all things concerning the woman servant. Lord, you know all that you have in store for her. Lord, you are not finished with her yet. You continue to build her. Father God, we just bless her. We continue to give you the praise and the honor. We ask all these blessings in no other name, but in Jesus' almighty name.
Social distancing has a show. Praise God. Thank God. Yes. Pleasant good morning to reverends and pastors and brothers and sisters in Christ. We are truly blessed and humbled in God's presence this morning. And truly, all of us need to continue to say, Jesus, keep me near the cross, where that precious fountain is, and it's free. It heals, it flows fresh and free. This morning, for a brief moment, this time has caused us to learn to value time and make the little time we have count. Not the amount of words, but it's what you get out of the words. So let's go to 2 Kings chapter 4. I know some Bible students already know what that is. And I know that I would not be able to read the whole story here this morning. I'm reading from 2 Kings chapter 4. I'm reading verse, I did not include it here, but I will. I'll read verse 8. I'll include it. 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 8. And it fell on a day that Elisha passed to Shunem, where was a great woman, and she constrained him to eat bread. And so it was that as oft as he passed by, he turned in thither to eat bread. Verse 20. And when he had taken him and brought him to his mother, he sat on her knees till noon and then died. 23. And he said, wherefore wilt thou go to him today? It is neither new moon nor Sabbath. And she said, it shall be well. 26 says, run now, I pray thee to meet her, and say unto her, is it well with thee? Is it well with thy husband? Is it well with the child? And she answered, it is well. Verse 35. Then he returned and walked in the house to and fro, and went up and stretched himself upon him. And the child sneezed 7 times, and the child opened his eyes. And he called Gehazi and said, call this Shunammite. So he called her, and when she was coming unto him, he said, take up thy son. This morning, it is well. Now, what you will have to do is to read the entire story. Because remember the verses I jumped to, a whole lot of story went on between there. I just wanted you to know that we were talking about a great woman. She was prominent, she was famous, a fabulous woman. She was a woman of wealth. And we often say that poverty doesn't take you to heaven, neither does it take you to hell. Wealth does not take you to heaven, neither does it take you to hell. You can be wealthy and go to heaven or hell. You can be poor and the same thing. This woman was wealthy. Just from reading the story, you will see that. She was a prominent woman, a great woman, the Bible tells us here. And she had a husband. Those husbands were valuable in those days. They seem to be. In these times, people think a little differently. Now, I say that because sometimes women these days, some women, because we have been allowed to excel and reach the heights of whatever it may be, sometimes we feel that we don't need, I don't have to marry, I don't have to have a husband because I can take care of myself. She had a husband. That was valuable in those days. And you know what else was valuable? Having a son. Children is fine, but you see the sons were valuable in those times. And this woman, they had no children. They had no children. And well, I'm speaking to people here who everybody had children, for the most part. Some people had a tough time having the children. I don't want to call people's name, but they know who they are. And this woman, she had such a kind-hearted, she was a kind-hearted woman. She was a woman who, what we call it? She perceived that this man, Elisha, she lived in Shunem. Elisha often passed that way. And he would always drop in at her house. And she would always entertain him, giving him something to eat, giving him something to drink, making sure that he was comfortable, a place to rest. And how we knew that this woman was wealthy is that we realized one day she told her husband, let's build a little room and furnish it. Now you had to have something in order to do that. So she did that. And so every time Elisha passed that way, he was able to go in and be comforted and be fed. I'm just going through a little bit of the story. And so one day Elisha was saying, to his servant Gehazi, if that's the correct pronunciation. Some people say Gehazi, some say Gehazi. Gehazi, I think it is. And Elisha, asked Gehazi one day, I wonder what it is I'm going to do for this woman. This woman is so kind. She's so generous. She's so caring. She's so thoughtful. I want to do something for this woman. I want to show her that I respect and honor her kindness. I want to show her some gratitude. And he sent for her. Elisha asked her, well, what can I do for you? And her answer was something like this. Let me see if I can get the verse. I wouldn't read it, but I'll just tell you what verse it was. Verse 13. She sort of told him an answer like, I don't need anything. I got this. My family and them, all right? I'm cool. She had come to accept her situation, that she didn't have a child, she didn't have a son. That was okay. She tried, she wanted, she didn't have one. That was okay. She made herself comfortable in her situation. That was okay. So she told the man of God that there's nothing that I need from you, because he was asking her, shall I go to the king for you and all of that. I got this. I don't really need you to do anything for me. I'm all right. I'm around my kin folks, my family around me. They're cool. They can help me out. I'm cool. I'm good. I don't need anything. But Gehazi realized that something was missing from the house. Every time they passed, they never saw a child, no running around, nothing at all. And he told his boss, Elisha, this woman don't have a child, you know. So Elisha said, okay, there's a good way to show my kindness by petitioning God. Because Elisha couldn't do it, you know. He was a holy man of God. That's what the woman recognized. So he petitioned God on the woman's behalf. And he said, because he knew the God he served, he called her and he said to her, this time next year, you're going to conceive and have a child. And she was like, hey, don't kid with me here. Don't make no joke with me here. I'm cool, I'm comfortable, I told you that already. And she went away. Time would have passed, she had the child, just as Elisha said. And you know, sometimes you can get a little distracted. Now you're having what you always wanted. Maybe it could have taken her focus away from God. I just say maybe. It didn't have to, because you know, like Hannah, she didn't take her focus off, you know. She kept her focus on God because she knew that she knew what she wanted, she knew what she prayed for. This woman had a miracle baby. And we know that we heard about that somewhere before. We remember Sarah and Abraham. Miracle baby. Hannah, miracle child. Because she was barren, she couldn't have, but God, who is master, who is the creator, it is he that had made us and not we ourselves. He could have done it. He performed a miracle in this woman's life. And it so happened that one day, this child grew up, a little lad, went out with his father in the field, and suddenly he started to bawl, my head. So what I realized is that this was an unexpected situation with this child. He just got sick unexpectedly. The father said to this lad, that's why I tell you she was wealthy. I told you she was wealthy. They had servants. So he sent the servant with the child, taken to his mother. You see how mothers are important. Because of time, I didn't go into the whole introduction with the women and the mothers and all of that. What we are facing today, where mothers' roles are so important again in these times, where home has become again the place of teaching. For a while, we depended only on the schools and all the other institutions and systems to teach our children. Now God has brought it right back to your house. So not only are you going to teach good manners and behaviors and all of that, but you have to also try to see if you can assist them with their virtual learning. I know it's tough for some people, it's tough. And so the child came, the mother took the child. The mother had that child holding on her lap from the time the child came to her. And I can imagine what was going through that woman's mind. Because she would have seen her child slipping away. And there was nothing she could have done. And the child died right in her arms. 12 o'clock. The child died. And well, I think that house should have been bawling and mourning and calling the rest of the family who were around and saying, well, let us start making funeral arrangements. She took the child, she carried him up to the room that she had built for the man of God, and she placed the child on the bed. Now, I don't want us to feel that if we go close to somebody who is a child of God, eventually it will be well with you. Not always. It's a good place to be because something good can rub off of you and rub off on you. It's a good place to be. So she decided, you know what? She put the child there and she said, I'm going to look for this man of God. I'm going to look for Elisha. Her husband said to her, you're going today? That's verse 23. Just telling you in my words now. You're going today? It's not the new moon. It's not the Sabbath. How can you just get up and go? That reminds me of Esther. That reminds me when Esther said, I'm going to go into the king. And we knew at that time you could not just have an audience with the king just so. You had to be called. And she just said that day, if I perish, but I'm going into the king. So that was like the next Esther situation. So she said, okay, I know it's not the new moon. I know it's not the Sabbath day. But you know what? I have a need for God. And because I have a need, I can't wait until new moon and Sabbath and all that kind of thing. My need is urgent. This is a now situation. And I thank God that we have a free access to Him. We don't have to wait on any special time. Now, if you get a pain in the road, you want to wait to come in church to pray? Or you want to wait until you reach home to pray and you have the pain now? Our God can be accessed at any time. We have free access to God. And so she told her husband, it shall be well. This was a woman who knew who her God is. She knew that. We could tell from these verses, she knew her God. And there's a scripture that says that in Daniel, the people that know their God shall be strong and do exploits. This woman was crazy. A acting crazy, let me see. She was acting kind of unusual. This is not the way people act when your child died. No, it's crazy people action. On her way, she almost reached Elisha. Elisha sent his servant with some questions. Gehazi. And Gehazi came and he met her on the way. And he asked her, is it well with you? She said, it is well. Is it well with your husband? Is it well with the child? She said, it is well. What kind of madness is that? We read that the child died on her lap. So she's sure she left her their child home. She go on and she say, it is well. Well, this is real craziness here today. So there must be a reason why she could say that. And one other thing I said, I thought to myself, it's not everybody you have to tell your problem. It's not everybody. Sometimes people see you looking like you have a problem. And they ask you, sometimes genuinely, they ask you, sister, what's going on? I feel you. Listen to me. If the Spirit of God don't tell you, tell them, don't tell them anything. Because sometimes their answer to your situation might not be what God wants. Because if you tell some, if she had told, I'm not saying only Gehazi, but I'm saying in our situation, if we tell people exactly what is going on, they could give us some kinds of advice that might be to our detriment. So sometimes we have to be careful who we tell our problems. And this woman knew exactly who she wanted to tell her problem because she had confidence that this person was a problem solver. She had confidence that the person she was going to, now I'm saying Elisha in the place of God, we could go to God and tell him our problem, our situation. Not that he doesn't know, he very well knows. Elisha didn't know. But he realized she was troubled. And she said, I told you wasn't to deceive me. I told you wasn't to fool me up. I told you that from the beginning. Don't fool me. Child there. But that wasn't the end of the story. That was not the end of the story. No funeral was going to take place. Don't bury the situation yet. We might have some situations that we are praying about. And we have been praying so long that to us, that done dead already. I remember maybe a few years ago, could it be about 2 or 3 years ago, I said to someone, we were in the car, and I said, I am praying about that situation. And I said, this year, God has to do something about the situation. And you know what the person said? Yeah, they did say that last year too. I stayed quiet because I know I already did say it last year. Last year I said God will fix it this year. But you see, I am aware that God's timing is not mine. I am aware that I serve a sovereign God, and He can do it whenever and however He pleases. And so that's why I say, don't tell everybody what's going on. Yes. When you feel that people will encourage you, you realize that the encouragement is not there. Because I was told when you said that last year too, it didn't happen. That's okay. That's okay. So I'm saying today that if we have problems in your home, problems with the wife, problem with the husband, problem with the children, problems on your job, all of these things, problems, don't bury it yet. Don't give up on it then. Don't give up on it yet. God is a miracle working God. And my thought is this woman said, it is well, because she knew that God, yes, she knew that God was in control of her life. She knew that Elisha had connection with God because she watched him come in, passing up and down, and she said, he looked like a holy man of God. I perceived that. Sometimes the word I was looking for, and I have it written here, I just not find it, is discernment. Sometimes we have to discern. We hear a long time, we say, God grant me the eyes of faith that I might discern, see the good, know the good from the bad, and all of these things. And she discerned that he was a holy man of God. He never got out of place, he never got out of line. And so she was able to say, it is well. Because just as how God performed that first miracle by giving me a child, he could do a next one. He could perform a next miracle. So you know what? I'm leaving that dead thing home right here, but I'm going to Jesus about it. And listen, you notice when Elisha sent his servant, when he sat to put on the child's face, nothing happened, eh? But he telling me, he said, when you see you going, if they even salute you, which was something very important, highly respected. If you don't salute somebody when they salute you, that was disrespect. But Elisha said, if anybody salutes you when they see you going on my mission, don't even salute them, you just keep going. Keep going. Just like she did. She told her servant, when they were going, she said, don't slack your riding. She said, don't slack your riding. Don't get distracted. Don't get distracted. Sometimes we get distracted. Our situations allow us to be distracted. But we have to keep focus. Keep our focus on God. And once we keep our focus on God, he can work miracles. He can do stuff for us that we don't even imagine. We take this verse lightly. God is able to do exceeding abundantly above all we ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. Listen, it is well can only be said if you have a good relationship with God. When you know who your God is, when you know the God you serve, you can say, it is well. Whatever comes, it is well. This situation is unmanageable. It's impossible as far as I can see, but somehow I know that with God, all things are possible. So he can make the impossible possible. But as if you believe, that is the point here. Is if you believe. Because listen, coming to church every Sunday, you wouldn't always allow me to say it as well, Because if you come in every Sunday, and when you leave on Sunday, no pray, no reading, studying the word. Listen, it's good to say, my God is a good God. It's good to say, 103 Psalm, where it says, that he will renew my youth as the eagle. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. That's good. That's good. But can it stand in the time when you have a dead situation? When you have a dead situation, they trust me. All the nice, pretty things ain't going to work for you. If you have a father who is a minister and your mother is the mother, it is not going to work for you. I'm not saying that they won't pray for you, But God is the one to get you out of the situation that you're in. So listen, we all want to continue to get to know the God we serve. The God we serve. Don't just say it. Know it, believe it in your heart. And when you believe it in your heart, whatever comes, you can say, it is well. She said that because she knew that God is faithful. I say it is because he said it. She knew that God is all powerful. She knew that God is a way maker. She knew God is our shield and our defender. She knew that God is a miracle worker. She knew that God is a keeper. She knew that God is a refuge and a strength. She knew that God was a high tower. She knew that God is a fortress. She knew that God is a promise keeper. She knew that God was, I am. Anything you want me to be, I am. That's all God wanted us to know from the beginning. I am. And you know what? He is also the resurrection and the life. So even though it's looking like it's dead, and it probably might be, God can bring new life into this situation. He can raise it up again. So may God bless us all today. May God keep us today. Listen, this woman who had no name mentioned can be anybody, any one of us. No name was mentioned, so it could be anybody. If they had said Martha, then we would have known that that's what happened to Martha. But she was a woman. And then they called her Shunammite because she lived in Shunem. But she didn't have a name mentioned here. But you know what? She made it to the hall of faith. Hallelujah. Read Hebrews 11:35. Women received their dead raised to life again. She made it into the hall of faith. The woman on the way to name, to bury her son. This one, she was on her way to the cemetery. Procession going down the road. Jesus, this one is in the New Testament. Jesus met them on the way. Stopped them because he saw the mother. God has a heart for the mothers, you know. If we will only stay close to God. He stopped them on their way and he raised the woman's son. That was her last resort. Listen, when you see you come down to your last resort, God knows how to fix that. He knows how to take care of that. So may God bless you today. May God keep you today. And those situations, all the vain things that charm me most, I sacrifice them to his blood, the blood of Jesus. May God bless you today. God is an awesome God. He is sovereign, so he can do whatever he pleases. And whatever he pleases and he does, it is well done. So all we have to say is, it is well. God bless you today. Praise God.
My God is a good God.
Yes, he is.
My God is a good God. Yes.